ABC Sunshine Coast.
Road safety could be something on your mind if you were in the queue on the Bruce Highway, the big parking lot out there, moving backwards and forwards to the coast from Brisbane perhaps. But let's face it, it's something that we all want. But will the repeal of the Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal put you at risk? Michael Kane is the Assistant Secretary for the Transport Workers Union. Michael, good morning. Take us back a step or two. What is the purpose of this tribunal?
Oh, good morning, Annie. Look, around about 2 decades of evidence leading up to the implementation of the tribunal found that if we really wanted to make a difference to safety on our roads, where we have 330 Australians on average dying in trucks each year, that's a horrific figure, then we had to look beyond simply just fining the drivers for breaches of road laws. Of course, every driver has to take responsibility, but what these decades of evidence showed was that there are pressures in this industry that come right from the very top of transport supply chains, the likes of the major retailers like Coles, who squeeze every last dollar out of the companies they use to carry their freight. And that means that the drivers that are ultimately performing the work are being forced to work too long and too hard simply to make a living for themselves and their families. And this tribunal was put in place to try and lift those pressures right at the top of the chain so we could get some real change in behaviour in this industry. And it's right in the middle of doing its work as we speak.
How well has it been working?
Well, it's early days. It's a big task that the tribunal's been set. It's already made an order. It's in the processing 3 other orders across different sectors of the industry. And of course, once those orders are made, there'll need to be time to see what effect they have in the community, in the road using community. And it's critically important for every Australian who wants to know that when they see a driver in their rear vision mirror, that the driver's rested, they're properly trained, and the vehicle's properly maintained.
So what's the reason for getting rid of it?
Well, unfortunately, I think we suspect that politics is playing a little bit of a role. The Abbott government has said that the tribunal is red tape. Of course, that's a very difficult thing for drivers and the road-using community to swallow. We'd just like to make the point that this should be above politics. It's not about political football, and certainly not red tape. Road safety is not red tape. And we think that it's critical now that all members of Parliament stick close on this one and keep this tribunal in place, give it a chance to do its work, and take that opportunity to make the roads safer.
Now, apparently you do have some support for the retention of it. Who have you got on side?
Well, last week in Canberra, Senator Ricky Muir came out and said publicly that he thought that this was a critical body that had a critical role to play and it should be left to do his work, and clearly said that he would support the retention of the tribunal, as did Jackie Lamb, who's one of the Palmer United senators. She's a person who in the forces worked in transport, and she said that she saw this as a critical body to do its work. And I think that, that's a feeling that's echoed across Parliament, even in Liberal and National Party rooms, where they may be forced to vote along parliamentary lines sometimes, but there's a real view that if this can make a difference, if it possibly can make a difference, then it should be left to do its work. And
as you pointed out, the work has only just begun, so it'd be at least great to see the tribunal go through the full process before any kind of decision was made about its future.
That's exactly right. There's a review, as there is in much legislation, there's a review period built into the legislation of 3 years where there can be a ministerial review about how the body's conducting itself and whether it's making a positive impact. And, it should be left to do its work. That review can take place, and we're all of the hope, I think we're all of one mind, that we can lift some of these pressures on drivers so that our roads in Australia are safer.
Michael Kane, good to speak with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie.
Michael Kane is from the Transport Workers Union. He's the Assistant Secretary, and we've been talking about the possible scrapping of that Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal. And clearly the TWU is not happy about it, and I think anything that keeps our roads safer is, let's face it, long hauls, big hours, and safety's a big issue for them and other road users around them.